guys, it's Sal here. Welcome back to another perfume video. I hope you're doing well. I've just dropped my notebook. So today I will be discussing some things about fragrances which either disappoint me or annoy me. Of course, on the whole, I love talking about fragrances that I love on my channel, so I suppose this is a very unusual sort of video for me to create. But I would say over the last couple of years discovering fragrances and sort of building up my collection, I've definitely noticed things here and there about certain fragrances which kind of annoy me. Before we jump into the video though, if you are new to my channel, then a very warm welcome. Thank you for clicking on my video. I create weekly perfume videos, so if that's something which interests you, then I would absolutely love it if you would click the subscribe button below so you won't miss out on any of my future videos. If, however, you are a returning subscriber of mine, then welcome back and thank you so much for your continued love and support. Please let me know in the comments how you guys are doing. It's always so nice to hear from you guys. So with that being said, let's get started with the video. So first up today, I want to talk about the atomizer of a fragrance. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, the atomizer is a fairly important part of the whole perfume experience. The way I see it is a fragrance is quite a luxurious item. It's quite a nice product. It's something that's quite enjoyable to use. So therefore I kind of expect the atomizer to be pleasant. As an example of the best kind of atomizers, I would say Kayali, Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, or just all the Kayali fragrances actually. They have a really nice atomizer. So the atomizer, that's actually one of the first things that I really noticed about this fragrance when I purchased it. The first time I sprayed it, I was really blown away by the quality of this sprayer. So it is a really gorgeous atomizer to this fragrance, and I think it really adds to the whole experience. Also, I would say the Juliette Has a Gun fragrances, they also have a very nice fine mist, you know, a very well-controlled atomizer, and it just sprays out the perfect kind of fragrance mist in my opinion. So I love these fragrances, you guys. I can smell both of those in the air together. That's very interesting. These fragrances right here have fantastic atomizers and I really appreciate that about them. It gives a feeling of high quality, it's very pleasant to use, like I say, and it helps to distribute a perfect kind of fine mist onto the skin. So I really appreciate that about these two fragrances here. However, unfortunately, you guys, I am not a huge fan of the Viktor & Rolf atomizers. First of all, I'll just say that obviously this is a really popular brand, so this could just be me. This could just be something that annoys me that nobody else has even noticed, so just bear that in mind. But for me personally, a few things about the atomizers for the Viktor & Rolf fragrances. I'm showing Bon Bon here, but I think it applies to most of them. I own Flower Bomb and Bon Bon, and they both have the same kind of atomizer. So, anyway, the first thing that annoys me about these atomizers is the fact that it's so large. So this piece here is actually really big. If I compare it to, I'm going to compare it to another fragrance because you might not be able to like see on the camera. So just to give you an idea of the difference in size, this is the Kayali atomizer and this one is the Viktor & Rolf. As you can see, it's really quite a lot wider, and something about that just feels rather clumsy to me. I don't like how big that is. It's too big for a perfume atomizer in my opinion, and the other thing I don't like about this atomizer is the fact that it sprays out far too much fragrance. So I have found that with certain really nice atomizers like the Kayali one, you can kind of control it, so you can spray out like a tiny amount each time, or you can spray out one full pump. But with this one here, you can't really control it, and the only thing that you can do is spray out one full spray of this fragrance, and to me it sprays out far too much, you guys. Every time I have sprayed either my Bon Bon or my Flower Bomb, it leaves this dripping pool of liquid on my skin, and that's what this does. Even if I try and hold it further away, it's still too much liquid that it sprays out. To me, I just find it too much, and you can't really control it either, so it's kind of annoying, you guys. It puts me off reaching for these fragrances. It sounds really silly, but something like that could easily put you off from reaching for it. It certainly does for me anyway. It could just be me that finds this irritating, but maybe you could let me know in the comments. So that is the Viktor and Rolf fragrances that kind of annoy me because the atomizer itself, it's not very easily controllable. It sprays out too much liquid in my opinion, and it's just too large and clumsy to use. Another fragrance that I got very recently actually, this one right here, Ralph Lauren Woman. I purchased this fairly recently, the other month, and I loved this fragrance. I still enjoy how it smells, but the atomizer on this one has gone really weird. So now when I try and spray it, okay, that went on my side light there. I don't know if you could see that, but it sprays out in a line. So it sprays out, I don't really want to spray it again in case it hits my side light. But it no longer sprays, it just shoots out like a line of water as if you're using a water pistol or something like that. I'll try and aim it away from a light, but it'll probably end up hitting it anyway. But like, can you see that? It's just straight out in a line. So I don't know what has happened with this one, but now it no longer sprays a mist of perfume, it sprays a line, and when it lands on my skin it's just like this pool of water. So that is really, really disappointing. I'm quite upset by that because it means that I don't really want to reach for it anymore. And I loved this fragrance, it's such a nice smell. So I really don't know what's happened there. I don't know if that's, I mean obviously it's just a fault, but that is really disappointing with this perfume, especially as I've not had it for that long at all, you guys, a couple of months, and the sprayer is faulty now. It sprays out in a line, and it's really disappointing. So that's Ralph Lauren Woman. Next up today I want to talk about the perfume bottle itself. This is something which can be magnificent, but it can also be something slightly annoying if it's if it's a certain awkward kind of shape. Now I do have a few fragrances which would fall under this category unfortunately, and those perfumes are Rihanna Nude. So first up, Rihanna Nude. I find this bottle slightly cumbersome to actually use because the way that this bottle sort of tapers in like this, when you're trying to spray it, it kind of slides down your hand when you're actually trying to push it down. It's hard to get a grip of it because of this awkward shape. And something about the proportions of this are just slightly strange to me. I mean, at first I kind of liked it because it almost looks like the silhouette of a dress, maybe, like a long dress. I don't think it's meant to be that though. I think it's meant to be a stiletto heel, but to me it looks more like a dress or a gown or something like that. So I mean it doesn't look that bad actually, but it's just when you try and use it, I just noticed it was kind of awkward to use when you're pushing it down, and then you could easily maybe even lose grip of it and drop it or something, and it's just kind of hard to get a proper spray of it when it's this sort of strange tapered in shape. But again, let me know if I'm being overly critical, just let me know. But these things kind of bother me, especially when it comes to something like a fragrance which is supposed to be a treat. It's like a treat of an item, it's not an essential thing, it's a luxury item, and I think that they should be a pleasure to use. The atomizer should be nice, the bottle should be practical, you know, it shouldn't be a strange shape that's awkward to use. That's just my personal opinion. These are all things I would think about if I was ever to create a fragrance. It would be it would need to be nice to use, so that's why I'm mentioning these things, but it could just be me that finds this annoying. The next perfume bottle I'm gonna mention is Kenzo Amore. Now this is a perfume that I really like how it smells, and I've talked about it a lot on my channel. I would recommend it because I think the smell is very soothing. It's a very nice kind of addictive, cozy, comforting rice pudding vanilla scent. So it's a nice scent. The perfume itself smells very nice. The thing with me with this perfume, and funnily enough when I first purchased it I kind of liked how the bottle looked. I suppose it was a bit different, it was kind of a novelty, you know, but as time has gone on I now find this bottle kind of annoying, you guys. I don't love this bottle. I think it looks kind of strange. For me now, I kind of prefer more classical looking perfume bottles, you know, just more you look at it and you know it's a perfume bottle, whereas you look at this and you might think it's a sculpture, which is kind of cool. But anyway, so the thing with this bottle, when you actually remove the lid, it's easy to use because this is the actual part with the liquid in it, so that's fine to use, there's no issue with that really. But the thing with this perfume is you have to put the lid on the right exact way, otherwise it doesn't actually go on. And I know I'm pretty sure I remember hearing either in comments or in other videos that people do find this annoying. I don't think it's just me with this one. But anyway, so you have to kind of put it on the right way. Oh, I got it first time there. But if you don't get it the right way, it won't go on. You know, which is kind of irritating. I think you should be able to just quickly toss the lid back on your fragrance, especially if you're in a rush in the morning, etc. So that's something about this bottle that I find slightly impractical. But aside from that, the actual sprayer is fine. I mean, it sprays out fine. This part is easy to use, so that's okay. It's just putting the lid back on that can be a little bit annoying, and the overall look of the bottle isn't quite for me, so that is Kenzo Amore. The next thing I want to talk about today is the perfume cap. Now, let me know if this bothers you, but for me, I like a cap to be kind of secure enough that it won't fall off, but then not on too tight either. So a good example of a cap would be my Delina Exclusive from Parfum de Marly. The cap clicks on there, it doesn't fall off, it's like quite secure, you know, but you can get it off fairly easily. So it's the perfect kind of cap in my opinion. So I really like this cap, I think it's a good quality one. It has a nice kind of weight to it as well. It's not like too heavy, it's not lightweight either, so it feels good quality. And of course it doesn't matter which way you put it on either, it will just go on no matter which, you know what I mean, it goes on very easily and it stays on and it's nice and secure. So this is a good example of a perfume cap for sure. But something that can annoy me, this issue that I'm about to mention, I have noticed more so in very cheap perfumes. So this issue is the cap being too loose or just kind of not being great in general, you guys. So these two perfumes here, I would say they don't have the best cap ever. So the first one here, I have La Rive in Woman Red, and I also have Britney Spears Private Show. These are both quite nice fragrances, they smell quite nice, but the cap itself is kind of cheap and annoying. So this one here, like, it doesn't even really go on properly, it just kind of sits on it and it would easily just come off. It's not secure at all. It's a cheap plastic lid, but to be honest, if it went on properly then I wouldn't mind about the material. It's just the fact that it doesn't really, like, if you tried to pick up the fragrance using the cap, it would probably just fall off. I don't like the cap for this fragrance here, and I also do not like the cap for In Woman Red by La Rive as well, unfortunately. So this is one of those caps that just, it's not secure at all, it comes off really easily. I definitely wouldn't be picking this fragrance up by the lid because it would most likely just, it would probably fall off, you know, if you tried to do that. And overall, you guys, it's just not a very secure cap, so that kind of bugs me about these fragrances. And alternatively, you can have a cap that is too tight. So this fragrance here is actually a new purchase. It is Narciso Rodriguez for her Eau de Toilette in the generous size 75ml bottle. And honestly, when I first received this, it's not as bad now because I've used it a few times and the cap has loosened off a little bit. But when I first received this perfume, I sort of wondered whether I might not be able to get the cap off at all. So it's like really, it's very firmly on there and it's actually kind of a hassle to get off. It's just very stiff and I find that kind of annoying. It's, like I say, it's not actually as bad now, but when I first purchased it, it was very, very tightly on there, and I sort of wondered, I just sort of thought that some people might not even be able to get that off. You're trying to use a perfume, you're not trying to have a workout or anything like that, you're just trying to use your perfume. And it shouldn't be that much of a struggle to get the cap off of your fragrance, it just shouldn't. But that is my opinion at the end of the day. It's just kind of tough cap to remove and things like that. Next up we have the longevity of a fragrance. Now this is something that I get asked about a lot on my channel, and I am trying to get better at mentioning it because it's something that I will quite often forget to mention. And because I suppose maybe the reason I don't mention it all the time, or I forget to mention it, is because it doesn't annoy me all of the time. It would only annoy me if it was a pricier fragrance. If it's a cheap fragrance and it doesn't last that long, I wouldn't really be that shocked. So as an example, we have Replay Stone. This is a really nice fragrance. It smells very nice, but it doesn't really last at all. I would say after the first half hour it sort of calms right down to a skin scent, and then after a few hours like you can't really smell it that well. But it's a really affordable fragrance. It is an eau de toilette concentration and things like that, so I sort of forgive it. I don't really mind. I still would recommend this perfume. I still like it. So this is sort of an example of when longevity doesn't bother me. I would sort of almost expect a fragrance this affordable at an eau de toilette concentration to perform like that in some ways. But it does annoy me sometimes, you guys. For example, we have Sea Fiori from Armani. Now I love this fragrance, it's so nice, but on skin it really doesn't last well at all, I wouldn't say. I overspray this fragrance. I will spray it sort of almost like a body mist in my clothes and in my hair and things like that, and it will last a bit better if I do that. Like I can still smell it in my hair by the end of the day, but on the whole it doesn't really have that strong lasting power. It doesn't really project much either, and to a certain point I will forgive that because the look of the bottle, the way that the scent smells, it's a softer overall fragrance, so you would kind of expect that it would be a bit more toned down overall, but this one is lacking slightly in the longevity front. On skin I would say it doesn't last very long at all, maybe a few hours, but the thing with this one is I overspray it, so I just spray it kind of in my hair, on my clothes and things like that, and it does last a bit longer. Overall I wouldn't say that this lasts well at all, and it's slightly disappointing because like I say, this is quite a high-end, it's more expensive, like it's not cheap, so you would kind of hope that it would last a little bit longer, but this one, it doesn't really last, you guys. It's kind of a softer fragrance, and yeah, that's slightly disappointing. However, on the whole I still love this perfume. I really enjoy it, so it really depends on the perfume. So it just depends on my mood, it depends on the fragrance and things like that, but it can sometimes annoy me. And my last point today is ridiculous or unimaginative names. Now, this is something that I have mentioned before in a video about one specific fragrance, and that perfume is Dolce & Gabbana, the only one. So I think, honestly, some perfume names could be done better, you guys. It's like, perfume is a creative thing, it's almost like an art form to me, and when you look at the names of artworks, there's usually a reason behind the name of a piece of art. It's usually kind of thought out, there's usually some reasoning behind it, or it makes sense at the very least. But some fragrance names, I find them just disappointing. When perfume is the kind of thing that so many people are so passionate about, I feel like the least the company can do is make an effort with things like the name, the fragrance, the bottle. They should make an effort with things like that, in my opinion, because people love perfume so much and it's such a well-loved thing, and and to be honest with you, I almost didn't buy this perfume for that reason. I was putting it off for a long time, actually. I first heard about this fragrance many months ago, and I thought it sounded nice and things like that, but I just put it off, and I put it off, and I kind of thought, no, I don't want to buy that fragrance. The name is so uninspiring, and it's so lackluster. So I kind of put it off for a long time, and then I ended up purchasing it because I knew I would like the smell, and I do, and I like the look of the bottle. I like the kind of ruby red tone of it. I think it looks nice, but the name itself, you guys, to me this one kind of takes the biscuit. But other names that I've noticed that kind of, baffle me would be Carolina Herrera Very Good Girl, for example. I just don't really think the name suits the look of the bottle because it's such a beautiful, bold, red glass bottle. I've seen it recently when I've been out shopping, and the bottle itself is so striking and it's so breathtaking in a way. I feel like they could have given that more of a punchier name, you know, something with a bit more impact. Very Good Girl to me is a bit wishy-washy, but that's just my own opinion. Perfume names and all of the points that I've mentioned today, I think preference comes into it a lot, so this could all just be me at the end of the day, but in my opinion, I think a lot of perfume names could certainly be done a bit better. So there we have it, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. As ever, please share your thoughts in the comment section below. I always love reading through your comments. Before I sign off, I'm just gonna let you know that the lipstick I'm wearing today is Clinique Even Better Pop in shade number 12 Enamored. Just to let you know, I don't have it with me, I don't think. I was supposed to bring it through, but I forgot. But it's shade Enamored from Clinique, in case you're wondering. I do get asked this a lot. So there you have it. Thank you again for watching today. I truly appreciate you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!